Okay, so in today's video about Algorand, at first we are going to do a short-term analysis and see what is happening in this area, and then I'm going to go on some higher time frames, and also we are going to check out an altcoin that in this cycle had a massive bull run, and I'm going to show you the early moves in that specific altcoin and check the similarities between that and the moves that we are having currently in Algo. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a great time with your family and loved ones, and let's just dive in and see what is happening. So here is the situation. I think we may actually see another move on the downside. Maybe we're going to do something like this in the next couple of days, but this is not going to be a bad sign at all. I still stand by what I said. I think this is actually going to be some sort of a bottom for us, and odds are in this whole slow and choppy move down, we are dealing with a correction structure. Now, if you care about classic patterns, personally, I'm not really a big fan, but if you care about them, well, okay, we are actually having in here a very classic falling wedge structure, which is actually a bullish pattern, suggesting when we get a break of this thing on the upside, we are going to do probably something like this. A break of the line, pullback, and then a continuation of the move up in order to hopefully get back above this important level, which the higher band of it is about 32.5 cents. And then we're going to do a pullback and followed by that a huge continuation of the move up. So for now, I'm thinking in the short term, we are going to get a move on the downside, but that is not going to be a bearish sign at all. Now, you might say, well, okay, what if in this move down in Algo, we're going to take this low? Is it going to be such a bad sign? In my opinion, no, not at all, for two very important reasons. Because this move down is slow and choppy, it suggests that bears are indeed running out of power. And in case that we want to have, for example, a move down and take this low, I do not expect Algo to go a whole lot lower at that point. Reason number two, in terms of classic technical analysis, meaning support and resistances, this is an important support region from daily and weekly time frame at the same time. And also we are having another unbelievably important support also from daily and weekly charts. And it is going to be between, let's say, like 20.5 to about 22 cents. So in case that in Algo, we want to have another move down and take this low, at that point, I'm expecting for us to get a very strong bounce back from this area and to start the next major phase of the bull run. And I can show you a lot of other charts suggesting we may get a move on the downside, not only in Algo, but probably in a lot of altcoins. But let's just use Ethereum as a proxy. Where is it? I think it was in here. So as you can see in here, we are having a very classic ascending channel, but we are just constantly having overlapping of the waves, which means odds are that this is a correction structure up and not an impulse. And honestly, can you tell me that these lows do not really look juicy? In my opinion, soon in Ethereum, we are going to have a move down in order to actually take all these lows, which the lowest low is in here about 2.5K. And I think our move down might be overall in form of a zigzag structure. And which one is the highest side? It's actually right in here. You can argue this is an A, this is a B, and we're going to have another move down into our C leg. And on a higher degree, this is a zigzag. This is probably going to be an A, B, C in form of a flat structure. And overall, this is probably a WXY in form of a flat and a zigzag. And then from here, we are going to start a move up. And in Ethereum, if we are going to get a move down, that means probably the same is going to happen to a lot of altcoins. And Algorand, I don't really believe that it's going to be an exception. And it doesn't mean that we're going to have very strong moves on the downside. I find that very hard to believe, given the current situation that we are in at the moment, which suggests that bears do not really have that much power. And this, my friends, is the extent of short-term analysis that we are going to do in today's video. And let's just zoom out a bit more. Okay, if you remember, in the previous video about Algo, we talked about this specific fractal, and I told you this is always charts back in the previous bull run. I think it was around 2021. which in this initial phase, as you can see, we had similar moves like the one that we are having in Algorand. And I told you this can be a 1 and a 2 followed by that another 1 and a 2, but on a lower degree relative to this one. And what happened next? We got a straight move up. And I do think that in Algorand, we are probably in a similar situation, meaning this is 1, 2. Then we're going to have big move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And this is also another 1 and a 2 structure, but from a lower degree relative to this one. And soon I'm hoping again, we are going to start the next phase of the bull run, which overall this red 5 wave up at that point, it's going to be into a wave 3 correction for 4, another move up into wave 5. Now, this fractal was from back in 2021. And I think I can actually show you a similar structure that happened recently in this cycle. And in order to check that fractal out, we need to go on Solana's chart. Now, I want to be very clear. In my opinion, there is a good chance that in Solana, we have completed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure, and we might actually see a very solid bear market. And a very important confirmation of that is going to be taking this low down here about, let's say, like $120. So if this move down is going to continue a bit more, and in it, we're going to take this low, at that point, we need to be very, very careful about Solana. Most likely, we have started a decent bear market, but that is not the point. I need you to pay attention to this initial move up off of the lowest low, about $8.50. What happened in here? We had 5 wave up into a wave 1, correction structure into wave 2, and this is also another 1 and a 2, but again, once more on a lower degree relative to this red 1 and a 2 structure. And in Algorand, again, we are having the same situation. Let's actually copy the fractal from here to about here. There we go. And let's put it on Algorand's chart, maybe from, I think it was crypto.com. Okay, so let's just paste this thing and compare our charts together and see what are we having in this area right in here. As you can see, this is a very strong initial move on the upside in Solana off of the lowest low, and in Algorand, we are having the same situation, followed by that a correction down, kind of a slow and choppy move, also the same in Algorand, and then very strong move up, followed by another correction down. And in this phase, we clearly have overlapping of the waves. And in Algorand, again, we are having the same deal. Very strong move up off of the lowest low down here, and then a correction structure down, a relatively slow and choppy move. And we are clearly having overlapping of the waves between this move down and also the one that we are currently having. So you see, these patterns do have a history of happening at the beginning of a magnificent bull run so many times. And I don't think that this is specific for Algorand. And I know right now a lot of people are saying, why is it that the price going down? We are tired of waiting. Well, that's just the name of the game. You need to be a bit patient, because I do think after this phase is over, we are going to start the real bull run that we are all expecting, and we are going to be rewarded big time. So overall, not a whole lot to be worried about in terms of midterm structures. And in the short term, again, I told you, we may see another 5 to 10% move down, but that is not going to be a bad sign at all. At least based on what I'm seeing in here, it seems like that bears are indeed running out of power. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algo's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.